And good evening. This is the daily technical update for the S&P 500 on Monday, May the 20th, 2024. And again, the market is kind of operating under the premise of which I think it should right now in terms of, does it going up or down and what is it influencing it? It is pretty clear that the market continues to be heavily influenced by the fact that we have a lot technically coming to fruition on Wednesday, the 22nd. The first being that at the opening, we have the volatility expiration, the VIX expiration. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the FOMC minutes. Can produce a move, can produce a bounce, can produce a shift that might be a minute, might be 5 minutes, could be longer, but it can. And then ultimately, all leading up to the after the close, the NVIDIA reports its earnings. Now, all can really put in some heavy moves between now or tomorrow and Wednesday morning. So, starting here with the S&P future. And again, I'm going to be on the 4-hour chart, and I've opened it up. So here we have the minor fourth wave, and that was at the April lows. So April expiration lows. And from that level, I'm counting a minor fifth wave up. And that minor fifth wave will then be completing an intermediate third wave. And then we'll have a little bit larger correction. And I laid that out over the weekend. Now, so we're still kind of reaching our pinnacle, and it can go because we still have, of course, major fireworks due one way or the other, or possibly both, on Wednesday. So I'm counting within the minor fifth wave, we're going to have 5 waves of minute degree. They're the ones in the white. And I'm looking for the completion of minute wave 3. It's been very nice. And breaking down into minuet degree, as shown here. Now, to be determined as to whether actually minuet wave 5 and minute wave 3 are complete. So again, 4-hour chart, you can kind of see, well, it looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4 overlap, all kinds of things going on inside this. So maybe this is ABCA, this is B, we're going to get a C wave down, and then we're still going to move that 4 over and still have another rise up. Now, if that's the case, and it kind of basically comes in within the low at 53.05, 53.06, and that would be like right here, then these fibs would stay the same. Because right now what could happen is we need to leave room first that we go up, put in a new high above 53.25. Nope, excuse me, 53.50. As we get a new high above there. But here's where fib resistance comes in, and that's at 53.85. Maybe that'll complete it. 100% is 54.34. Now that tomorrow, pre those, all the events that are coming on Wednesday, maybe, but I would think that 53.85 might contain it for now until additional information comes on that, Super Wednesday. Okay, so I'm leaving this open. If this does mark this minuet 5 and the minute wave 3, then here is the zone, and it really hasn't changed right there, that we're looking for this minute wave 4 to come down into. And again, it's 236 to 382, and I'm trying to match these up to the labeling. Okay, so this labeling, actually, this should be a little bit different. I beg your pardon. This should change. And I should put this in the white because that's what that reflects. So let me make one quick change. It'll be actually that grayish color. And then we're going to put this back on like that. There we go. Now they're correct. See, minute. We're looking for a minute 4. Here are the levels. and they still are the exact same place. So again, whether or not here comes this fourth wave, and it should be not humongous, but we're looking for an ultimate that it might get back to like 52.25 or definitively back below 5,300 and start to look like, oh, we're threatening. But I think anywhere in between down below there. So we got this up at the high, 52.60, 263, and the low, although it was a spike low, that was that PPI from last week. That was the reactionary low, and that was at 52.16. So basically our fibs are 52.71 down to 52.24-ish. And that could be just wave 4, and then we get another rally up, and then a new set of fibs, actually, to be honest with you, because if the 4, wherever the 4 were to come in, then we're going to connect, wherever this 4 comes in, we're going to connect wave 1 to wave 4. And if it comes down here, then we're likely going to be seeing these areas again, because ultimately I would be expecting the market to kind of start reaching up and out to 54.55-ish. So 35 to 55, maybe as high as 50, 54.55, maybe as high as 5,500. Before all is said and done, and we can get a minor 5 put in. And once minor 5 is put in, that just completes intermediate wave 3. I'm just going to go out real quick and take a book 3, 4, 5. And that is then going to be intermediate wave 3 when we finish minor wave 5. I got to go out one more. 1, 2, intermediate 1 and 2. We're in intermediate wave 3, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We get to 5, and that's going to be intermediate wave 3. We get a larger, which actually, no matter where it goes up here, here's the target area, because that's the 4th of 1 lesser degree. So maybe we get up to 54, 5,500 as suggested, and then we get a drop back down to 5,000. So we got some volatility. We got some time where we're going to get some decent moves, both directions, and a lot of like, okay, world's coming to an end. Okay, this is happening, that's happening, and then it'll turn and go again. But mind you, we're getting into that area where the market, in terms of finding something to bullish to run on, whether it's about an individual stock, whether it's about the index, whether it's about interest rates, whatever it's going to be, even those are now running thin. So it's going to have to be something strong, rather than, we've been waiting for this rate cut now for a long time, and I don't know how much more you want us to stuff into this market in anticipation of them cutting a rate that maybe we don't know if they will. So bingo. All right, back to the very near term. So we know what we're working on ultimately, and we're going to get a bigger correction now seasonally, or just if we're looking at cycles. We should start to kind of do a cycle trough, but not the big long ones, just the shorter term guys, I believe into June. So we have a very short term that I think comes in next week into the beginning of June. So, and that could fit, because don't forget that on Wednesday, we got two ways that things can flip and fly. So we need to take all that into consideration and then move forward with it to see how the count comes in. And if we're still expecting a larger move up, the world's going to have to go find us a good reason, right? Hang your hat on to continue to buy, because I'm sure that'll be there. All right, back down. So what we have, maybe a 3, a 4, maybe still needing one more little up move, and that needs to get us above 53.50, and we begin to have some stronger resistance way above a 53.85. And if that could be moving that all the way up, and then we put minus 3, and then we have a little bit larger, and the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree actually comes in right here. All right, over in the NASDAQ. kind of the same picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in a fifth wave, nicely extending. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, I'm a little bit more comfortable in saying that we reached the high for minuet wave 3. Now, boy, that's a statement, right? Because what that does suggest, open it up in here, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that 5 extended, the 3 was normal. It was the 5 that extended. And that's not unusual. There's normal 1, normal 3. 3 is not the shortest, and 5 extended. Putting in that top for this 3, and it's 1, 2. We're counting a minute wave 4 as a part of the minor wave 5. So here we go again, right? We'll be putting in the minute wave 5 to complete that wave. Plus, then it completes the minor wave 5, which in turn, one more out, completes the intermediate third wave. Now, under this count, which again, this is the one I'm running because we're confronting these instances that are coming up on Wednesday that may determine how we move forward to even higher levels or how we correct to the lower levels we may be suggesting. So if we finish this minor wave 5 and intermediate wave 3 in the NASDAQ, here is the window for intermediate wave 4. So basically what we still got coming, finishing the intermediate third wave, I believe that's in sight, and then correcting in an intermediate wave 4, and we got one more intermediate degree fifth wave to go. And we're just experiencing that this 5 of intermediate wave 3 subdivided, extended in and of itself. So bringing it all back down. Let's come down to that hourly. So what are we looking at here? I really do think we start to get a pullback. First place is here, and that we're looking for a minuet fourth wave and then a minuet fifth wave up. So once I get a 4 in here, I can put another one. If I'm considering that this might be over, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Otherwise, maybe we do get up to 820, 18,820. Haven't gotten there yet. Today's high was 18,794. So it's approximately another 620, 630 points up to here. Maybe you can do it. Maybe it does it now. I don't know. But you leave it open and then we correct again. This 3, we then correct likely back to here. So pretty much where this has sat for a while. And it's because it's because the 5 extended. I mean, our first would be here, undoubtedly, but I don't believe that's just maybe an A. I think we are now ready for a little bit bigger correction back. And unfortunately, here we are talking like dropping back towards 18,200 again, but it could. And it could come on a momentary disappointment if NVIDIA has any way, shape, or form disappoints, so will go AMD, so will go AMAT, so will go Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, SMCI, a lot of things that are attached to AI via NVIDIA and its chip might also briefly, they'll just like punch it in the face. It stands up and goes like, what was that for? And everything stops and they go back. Who knows? But I think that we're kind of building up to where we have a little bit bigger, again, a little bit larger of a pullback. We have not had them. This has been very strong. That reactionary, this is the reaction on PPI, and we were all there. It looked huge. It's been dwarfed now, and this is the hourly chart, dwarfed. Right? So that's where we stand. Moving averages, they're all actually very nicely stacked up to continue. And if we start to drop, then first we'll get the 13, the 20, and they'll all drop below the 50, and then we'll start the cavalcade, or the sort of the mini avalanche of selling to bring it down. This will go pretty quickly. This should go pretty quickly because it already did. And this was a strong rally. It should, if it slides, it should slide right through and produce a bearish engulfing against that. And so forth. You know, we have to look for where did volume accumulate? Where did they buy and stick around and buy over a period of time? And that's usually where we'll find some support. But a lot of this was overnight. This was during the day, so to get the business done. If they start to come down, they may hold it here, and then we get back in and we go down. Anyway, I am going to leave it there. There's no need to go on and on. So that's kind of today. Focusing on, again, the very near term, the intraday. Tomorrow, well, we got to let the market, but we are due for at least a pullback, if not a greater pullback, and get it started. And it'll come down in an ABC. So ABC, but here it might be, because we're up a degree, a little bit harder, coming into our window. And here window, and here, this is a wave 2, but it's a window still. But this is actually the larger window that I'd like to see this thing come into. But that's pretty deep, right? That's giving up 800 that we actually put on since April. Actually, since May 8th. So took us 12 days to put all of this on. How quickly can we take it off? All right, that's it. Now tomorrow, again, very light week. I think all I got tomorrow is Fed talkers. And so Tuesday, yeah. Fed, all speaking. Oh, at one point at 7 p.m. tomorrow, we've got 1, 2, 3, all grouping together for some panel discussion. All right, so tomorrow's Fed talk day. We shall see. Have a great evening. Next update will be on Tuesday, May the 21st.